Today's top story brought to you, as always, by the fine folks over at Piggly Wiggly and Neely's Mill in Columbia. Be sure and stop through there for their delicious daily deli lunch options, as well as their hand-cut meats, and everything is cost plus 10 at the cash register. So, Piggly Wiggly, Neely's Mill, Columbia, our top story sponsor. And to help us with our top story, we are bringing in former Major League infielder Mike Mordecai, two-time world champion, former Atlanta Brave, and a guy who has played both sides of second base, among other positions. And this is in response, as I said at the top of this show, I guess it was Friday that the Los Angeles Dodgers announced that Mookie Betts, a right fielder last year, a second baseman this offseason, will now be their starting shortstop. Now, if anybody can do this, it's Mookie Betts. I have no doubt that he's going to do it. I have no doubt he's going to be an all-star at shortstop. But it really feels like to me, who my next at bat will be my first, but it feels like this is an interesting transition to ask somebody to make on, at the time, March 8th. So I wanted to find somebody who could kind of speak to making the move from starting second baseman to starting shortstop in such a short period of time. And Chris was able to identify Mike Mordecai, who now coaches at
Northside Methodist.
Mike, is it Northside Christian, Northside Methodist? Where is it that you're coaching in Alabama? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Northside Methodist Academy in Dothan.
In Dothan. Okay. Mike, we appreciate you taking some time with us, man. And like I said, am I making too much of this transition from second to short on a starting basis?
Well, first off, you know the player's history. Mookie, when he signed to start playing professional baseball, he was a shortstop, and then they moved him over to second base. The majority of his younger years there in A-ball, rookie league and all, before he eventually went to the outfield. And he was very, very, very good player on the infield. But a lot of times teams will move players around to try to get their bat in the lineup, and they'll find a position that they can put them in that they would be adequate enough defensively to get their bat in the lineup and say, we got to get the guy's bat in the lineup any way we can. Let's find a spot for him. And so if the players can do it defensively and not hurt their team that much, then that's where they're going to stick them to get them to the big leagues. And I think that's kind of like what happened with Mookie. I saw him in Double-A. I was roving infield coordinator with the Blue Jays. I saw him in Double-A. Bobby Meacham was the manager there for us. We were the New Hampshire Fisher Cats, and Mookie was with Portland Sea Dogs. I think the Red Sox at that time, they're the Sea Dogs now. But anyhow, and he was playing second base. And I remember Bobby and I having a conversation about him in particular. And he says, I think they're going to put him in the outfield. And I think Bobby had spoken to their manager because they knew they had a special player there, and they just needed to find a way to get him in the lineup up top. So they started playing him in the outfield, and of course, the rest is history. So it's easier to go from the infield to the outfield, but when you start coming from the outfield back to the infield, everything speeds up. The batter's a lot closer to you, and getting back on that dirt and getting yourself used to hand positioning and all the things you got to do, positioning yourself, all that comes into play. But to add to the fact that the shortstop is kind of like the quarterback on the field, it's a tough position. Mentally, it can beat you up. But I think Mookie is probably well qualified to go out there and play the position.
I would agree with all of that, Mike. It just feels like a big ask again 3 weeks before the season starts. I mean, you've mentally kind of gotten yourself into the mode of, I'm going to play second base. This is my first full year at the major league level as a second baseman. I'm getting myself prepared for that. And then all of a sudden, we want you to move across the bag. And Again, I have no doubt he can do it. It just feels like it almost feels like a little arrogance on the part of the Dodgers for even asking him to do it. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at.
Well, I'll tell you this. I would guarantee you Mookie Betts is one of the best teammates in baseball. If you feel what I'm saying, this guy's concerned about winning ball games. He's not concerned about what position he's playing. He's concerned about winning ball games. How can I help this team? All right, my bank account, I don't need to worry about that. I want to win ball games, and I firmly believe they have a plan B in the background here. Okay, he might already be the plan B, and they've got plan C, and they're thinking to themselves, if Mookie can do this, and he can do it we're not asking him to be a Gold Glove shortstop. We're asking him to make the routine plays, keep us in the ball games. Whatever else he gives us defensively, we're going to take it. I mean, if you look back at shortstops that have been on pennant winning teams and things like that, I mean, I can name a few guys that weren't outstanding shortstops. They were just steady as she goes, and their teams ended up in the postseason. And in this day and age in the postseason, we don't know what can happen. I mean, teams get hot and offenses go cold, and the next thing you know, a team's in the World Series like Diamondbacks last year. You didn't expect that. So that's their goal, is to get to the postseason. And I'm sure they feel like with Mookie on the field at shortstop, they can do that. Now, if he falters, and Mookie, I would imagine is the kind of guy, he would go to them and say, hey, man, this is getting to me. I feel that way. And then they would probably say, all right, let's see if we can fix this. But you're talking about a guy that's an all-star. There's a lot of pride there, heck of a ball player. He's not going to want to let him down, so he's going to put in the work. I can guarantee you that. He's going to put in the work for his teammates and the fans, and he's going to be one of those guys that says, just watch me. I can do this.
Well, and he can, and he will, and he will be good at it. And like
he'll be great at it.
Both of you guys have said that, and there's no question. What is the technical difference of playing second base and shortstop? I mean, obviously the preparation has to be a little bit different.
A little bit. You're talking about footwork and release, like a lot quicker release, coming to get the ball a lot more. Second base, you don't have to do that as much. But shortstop is about coming to get the ball, and you get opportunities to get short hops, get your feet set up and make throws. The double plays, I think he'll handle those well. It's just getting the speed between second base and shortstop. I guess kind of like in the back of his mind, every ball player playing a position has an internal clock. That internal clock is telling them how much time they have, and they've done it for a long time. Mookie just needs some time to get that clock going to where he understands, okay, I know how much time I have here at shortstop as opposed to second. I may have a little bit more time. I don't have to worry about putting as much on my throw at second base. There are times you have to do that, but at shortstop, I mean, you got to have some good angles at balls, and that may take him a little bit of time to figure some of that stuff out. Like I said, I think this guy is well qualified to do this. I believe he's going to be an all-star. I think he will be. I'd be surprised if he's not.
I do too. I really do, Mike. Mike Mordecai, former Major League infielder, current coach at Northview Christian down in Dothan, Alabama, joining us here on Main Street Sports today. Mike, is it tougher to go from second to short or from short to second? I'm sure you've done both.
Second to short is a little bit tougher. It's a little tougher to go over there because obviously you're farther away from first base. The play in the 6-hole is one of the tougher plays you have to make. That backhand and that long throw across the diamond. I used to be, when I was with the Blue Jays, Alex Anthopoulos, who's now there with the Braves, we would have meetings and he would ask me about some of our younger players playing shortstop and can they do it? You think they could do it at the big league level? And I would always say, Alex, the one thing that I would want these guys to do is make that play in the hole, because you don't want to be in the World Series in the bottom of the ninth with the winning run for the other club on third base, and there'll be a backhand hit in that hole, then that guy can't make that play. So that, to me, is going to tell you all you need to know. And it may take him a little bit of time to get the footwork down, the angles right, but I'm sure he's got the arm and he's got the ability to do it, and he'll put in the work. So I don't see any issues there, but it is tougher to go from second over to short.
I guarantee you at some point Mookie Betts is going to make a jump throw that's going to make people just jump out of their seat. I'm excited to see him do it. It's just that, like I said, I feel like the Dodgers have just grabbed a bunch of players and then just kind of threw them out on the field, and wherever they land is where they're going to play. And it's an interesting philosophy, and as a Braves fan, I hope it falls on its face. But it won't be because of Mookie, So we'll see, clearly. But, Mike, man, we really appreciate your – Wade, did you have something?
Yeah, I was going to get in real quick with Mike, and we certainly appreciate you being here. Mike, you're the great website Wikipedia tells me that not only are you the coach, you're the AD, and you teach history. First of all, is that accurate?
Well, I nixed the history last year. This year I picked up some physical education, middle school PE classes. So I'm the AD, the baseball coach, and I got some PE classes. And really, I do a little bit of everything. I just concessions, I do it all.
Well, yeah, if you have the AD title, we know you do a little bit of everything. And I was still hoping you had some history in your repertoire there, because we were going to, maybe go down the rabbit hole here and just see what sort of facts you could try and throw at us here today, maybe.
I don't know. I have to dig back in. There's middle school history. We'd have seventh grade, and then we'd have eighth grade. And the seventh grade's more of U.S. history. When you get to the eighth grade, it's more world history. So, there's a lot of stuff going on over there in the Middle East now that our kids last year or the year before last, I was teaching them. We were talking about those areas and things like that. It is interesting.
And so I guess the real question is, how many chapters in the text are devoted to Nick Saban in the history books down there?
Maybe not enough, but you're listen now. You're in Tennessee too. Now you either love Nick Saban down here or you hate him. There's no in between. You got Auburn on one side and the Alabama on the other. Up there in Tennessee. But I'll tell you what, people like Nick Saban are just good for college football. Regardless if you like him or hate him, he's good for college football. The guy was very well respected amongst his peers, and that's a huge compliment. Any coach, if you're well respected among your peers, you've been successful.
Well said.
Mike, we are so appreciative of your time, man. We thank you so much for taking it and for getting back with me as quickly as you did. I did not expect for you to answer my email on a weekend, but you did, and I greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. Mike Mordecai, thanks for joining us here on Main Street Sports today, and maybe swinging back to you, man, maybe around the All-Star break once Mookie makes the SL team.
Yeah, you guys anytime you guys need me on or would like to talk some baseball, I enjoy it.
Well, we enjoy it. We appreciate you. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. You guys have a good day.
Thank you, Mike.
Welcome to Protein Snack Shop, your destination for healthy and delicious low-carb snacks. Our specialty lies in providing protein-packed desserts that are perfect for those following a keto diet. Our products are made with high-quality ingredients, ensuring that you can satisfy your cravings without compromising your health goals. From a variety of flavors and options to choose from, you can enjoy guilt-free snacking while staying on track with your fitness journey. Don't miss out on our limited time offer. Discover Protein Snack Shop today.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
We thrive under the lights. A city of performers. Putting on one heck of a show. Headlining night after night. Welcome to Smashville.
Time to go to FIU, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. The last weekend in November.
Yeah, you know, that's as we bring in Coach Bates. Coach, we're just running down the schedule here. You know, it's an awfully tough trip you have to make on November 30th. You got to go to Miami, Florida. I mean, in November. I mean, that's a murderer's row as far as weather goes, right?
Yeah. Oh,
appreciate you being here.
Thank you. You know what? I'm so upset that that's where we have to go.
You just look distraught.
You know what? I'm dazed and confused right now. I'm struggling. No, anytime you get to destination spots, it almost feels like bowl games to some folks because the weather in that area is generally pretty good that time of year, but.
And it's generally pretty bad here.
Yes. Yeah. Like having lived in Tennessee for the greater part of 10 years, I can tell you that time of year can get a little rough. But here's what I will say: it's a business trip for us. Look, we know and understand that we've got a season ahead of us, man. That's going to test every part of who we are. And like right now, we're just putting together the elements and the foundation of a football team that we believe, is going to be competitive, okay, and find a way to hopefully make some noise in Conference USA in 2024.
Coach, you've been on the job for a little over 3 months now. You were named on December 6th.
Right.
Relative to what you expected, what have these first 90 days been like?
You know what? I'm close to coming up on 100, and as I talked about it with our creative team, it spoke to the idea of like work, developing trust, relationships, identifying issues and problems and making sure that we can address those issues, whether it's recovery, nutrition, schemes, a talent gap. How do we close like these things? These things aren't an overnight process. And I think that's what's been important for me as I'm fortunate enough to get an opportunity to do it again. I'm seeing it through a different lens. Before, everything was so rushed. And it was about, okay, man, I got to do this because so-and-so is doing it. Now I'm not worried about what so-and-so is doing. I'm looking at our players, our coaches? Are we incrementally, maxing out the opportunity to get better every day? And if we're doing that, okay, well then we're gaining ground that will pay dividends when the time comes for us to line up and play football.
You kind of, in a roundabout way, mentioned something. How do you feel like, and obviously you've not coached a game yet, you've not even coached a spring practice yet.
Right.
But right now, how do you feel like you've gotten better from your first head coaching gig to your second head coaching gig?
Well, I know who I am. I think you think you know who you are, and then you're working within the constraints of the situation that you find yourself in. And then what you have to do is give and bend and sort of, adjust and adapt to what's needed, but also what people are needing you to be. Right now, I'm not worried about what people need me to be. I'm worried about what my program needs me to be. Okay, so it's more of a build it from the inside out, okay, man, and make sure, man, that you invest in the outward pieces so they get a chance to understand, okay, what that real self looks like. And so, like, for me, it's been good, I've always been able to connect with players. That's not a problem. But Middle Tennessee is my community. I love this community, and I think, like, in the process, it'll love me back. And that process is about investment. I told our guys, people want to go see people that they know. There's got to be some connection. If there's no connection, they're not coming to watch you play. So like, what are you doing to connect with the students, the community, like the people, man, that have grown up in this place? And if you're not from here, you haven't gotten to know this place. Well, then, like, these people have no idea who you are. And so, like, the idea is this: let's be blue collar and very organic about the work that we do, the place that we sit in. Let's reflect this community, and let's make sure, that we give this community, man, our best selves. Because what you do in the weight room should reflect the same thing that you do out in the community. The same thing that you do in the classroom, should really reflect on your brand and who you are, as a Blue Raider. So all these things aren't mutually exclusive. They're all connected. And so the connectivity is something that our guys are starting to get. It's something that I believe in. But, when I've sat down to talk to, Coach Enzo, when I've talked to Jimmy, when I've talked to Teo, in tennis, like, these people are real. The connection is real. I can learn a lot from Jimmy and Coach Enzo. Jimmy just opened up his new facility. And, like, he did it when nobody ever thought he could build a tennis facility. Got it done. Coach Insel has built something incredible, right? And like, he's football's biggest fan. Like, when I see him, I go to his coach's show, man, and I'm just as fired up, like, to sit there and listen to him talk, because I've sat up here in the stands and watched, like, his practices and what they look like, and it's surgical. I mean, he coaches as good as anybody in the game, and I'm sitting here right here in Middle Tennessee getting clinicked, okay? And that's pretty cool. So I think, like, this community, like, for me, it feels good. It feels like a good pair of jeans and boots. Man, they fit. And I'm glad to be in a place, man, where good people are willing to share their ideas and opportunities for success.
Derek Mason, newly named as of December, football coach here at Middle Tennessee State, joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. Coach, you got spring practice coming up.
Right.
You start a week from Saturday, is that right? The 23rd?
A week from today.
A week from today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next Wednesday.
All
and then
right.
we have an NIL practice a week from Saturday. It's Raiders Rising, which is our MTSU athletics collective. We're going to be the kickoff for that collective, and excited to have an NIL practice, which will be pretty cool. We get an opportunity to invite our fans, as well as donors, as well as other folks, to come out, contribute to the collective, the whole collective. But the idea is this: come see who we are. I wanted to get out with our staff and just get out and just be part of this community. So we started this thing called the Blue Collar Project, which has been outstanding. But I think with that, that's about community, right? And so we just want our community to come out, see us, see what we're doing. Let them get a taste of what we're talking about with NIL, because I think NIL looks different for us here than it does at other places. It's not about making sure that we can just resource athletes. It's about making sure, man, that we can, because for me and my program specifically, I want to be able to make sure that I can invest in my juniors and seniors as I'm getting my freshmen and sophomores to contribute, because I'm a developmental program.
Right.
So, man, if I'm gonna look to talk about NIL and give NIL, okay, I want to invest NIL in players, man, who have been here, who've walked it, okay, man, who've paid their dues, and now on the back end, as we're getting to the best parts of what they can do, now, man, we're starting to reap that investment.
Yeah.
You know, so again, everybody's got a different idea in NIL. I don't want to lose players, and I think you do that through two ways. You create, connection and relationships, and then the other idea is that when the time comes, okay, what does the investment really look like? Because you can only say so much. It's really now what starts to hit like their pocket in some ways, and they're not trying to be transactional. They just know that it exists out there, and so we have to know that they have a fair market value. So let's address the fair market value, and let's show them that we can.
Spring practice concludes with your spring game on April 13th.
Yes, sir.
And there was an announcement a couple of weeks ago. You're doing something a little unique.
Right.
And I kind of like it. You have named captains. You're actually going to play a straight-up game.
Yes.
And honorary coaches will be a couple of former Blue Raiders. I was on campus with one of them, Robert Frazier. I don't remember who the other one is off the top of my head.
Well, we're going to put it out. We've been trying to hold on to it, but it's going to be put out here like in the next couple of days. Man, we got a lot going on with, in our basketball teams and other sports. Man, we're trying to find the space where it makes sense, because we're also going to talk about what that week's going to look like. We're going to have a draft. Okay, so we're gonna get into a room the Sunday before spring game, and there's gonna be a true draft. I'm gonna be the commissioner, so I get a chance. I get a chance to swing the gavel a little bit, but it's something that's fun for our kids. It's something that's fun for alumni, and hopefully it's something fun for our fans and our donors, because we still have some things being tied up around that NIL event that are gonna really affect how their spring game looks too. So we're just trying to get creative in spaces where I think we can be creative, but create connection with community and have some fun.
Absolutely. And Coach, you've obviously only been on the gig for a little bit, but we've really been impressed with how aggressive you've been on the recruiting trail. But I got to ask you, we're sitting here in Murphy Center, but just right behind us, there's a lot of construction going on. Right. How much of your recruiting pitch right now is, hey, look at the sweet new facilities. MTSU football is kind of moving out of the dark ages and kind of into a true new era right here.
Yeah, man, extremely excited. I've been asked, what do you feel about the construction and, everything that's going up, and, is it negative? No, man, it's the price of progress. That's exactly what you want to see. It means that this place is going to places that it's never been, to hopefully do things it's never done. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if that's truly, where we believe we sit and where we're going, between Dr. McPhee, Chris Massaro, Lee DeLeon, our athletic programs, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more coming on the backside of this, but you have to crawl before you can walk, and walk before you can run. And that's where we sit right now, with some steel coming out of the ground. It's visual.
Coach, before you got here, Wade and I were kind of talking about what is a reasonable expectation for Middle Tennessee State football in year one under Derek Mason.
Well,
what would you tell people that is?
Well, we want to be physical. We want to be tough, and we want to play intelligent football. Okay, but what does that mean? People want to know numbers. Well, I'll tell you more about our football team after 15 practices. Are we physical? Because if you can't control the line of scrimmage up front, you've got no chance. It's a line of scrimmage game. So You know, I mean, it starts with our bigs. Everybody wants to say it starts with the quarterback. It doesn't. It starts with, you know, can we run the football effectively when we want to, okay, as well as like when we have to, right? You know, can we stop the run? Can we get a pass rush on third down and get off the field? You know, having Luke Pascal back here and the idea of you know, how are we going to play special teams? I didn't go out and get a special teams coach that I thought would make us good. I tried to go out and get the best, okay, one of the best minds, okay, in college football. He just happened to be at the Group of 5 level. He just happened to be an MTSU alum. He just happened to be trying to get back here for the last 17 years. And
that worked out well.
yeah, it did. and like, to me, like what he talks about the standard, and the standard being the best. That's the goal. The goal is to be the best. So we want to be physical, okay, man, and that's offense, defense, special teams. But the toughness piece, you know, I think this much. Toughness, you can be a tough team, but I think offense sort of dictates defense nowadays a little bit in terms of, like, what do you value? Everybody wants to score points, but it's not just scoring points, it's how you score points. You know, like, can you snatch somebody's soul, you know, like as you're scoring points? Because if you can snatch, you know, okay, you can score points, but so can they. If you can snatch somebody's soul, if you can challenge their toughness,
yeah,
okay, man, and sort of just pull their soul right out of their body, that's a game changer. And so we're gonna see how tough this group is, because we're gonna push them to places they've never been. And if you ask them now, they'll say, yeah, we doing some things, man, that are like different. And it's challenging because, like, look, when you get in the heat of it, I don't want them to know what you are when we get in the heat of it. I want the heat to be turned up like now, and then ratchet it up in the summer, and then do it again as we get to fall camp. So when we get to the season, you know what you're capable of, and so do I. So we don't look at each other with disbelief. We look at each other with confidence.
Right.
And I think the intelligence piece comes down to the simple fact that let's not beat ourselves. Look, I mean, from the penalties to turning the ball over, okay, or you know, understanding how to be good in situational football. These things matter, like today. And as I looked, like, this football team has beat itself as much as teams have beat it. So there's room for growth in all these areas: the physical, the tough, the intelligent piece, and that's where we got to make our hay. Everybody's got scheme, and everybody gonna play football. But here's what I know: big men beat down little men. Tough guys, okay, man, find a way to get across the finish line, and they're not making excuses for why they did. Okay, and the full reality of it is, we all these things can be talked about, but they really have to be shown, and that's what we're working towards. You can talk about it, but you got to be about it at some point, and that's what spring is about. It's really the second opportunity, because the first opportunity started with winter condition. Spring ball becomes the time where we put them on the X's and O's, and everybody thinks it's going to be about scheme. It's not. It's going to be, can this man whip this man? Because if you can, we need to go with that dog. Okay, that dog right there may be a good backup, but that dog is the one that we got to go with, and we got to get that backup to be as good as this one. So I'm telling you, I don't know. To answer your question, we talk about expectations. Look, let's not lose games. We should win.
It's a hell of a place to start. It really is. Yep.
Seems fair to me.
It does. It does. Derek Mason, first-year Middle Tennessee State football coach, joining us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. Coach, really appreciate your time. I know you're running wide open right now, and thank you for checking in with us, and hope to catch up with you again soon.
Thank you, too. This is one of my favorite spots, okay? Hanging out with two of the best in the business. I definitely appreciate your time. And listen, Blue Raider Nation, let's stand up. Let's have some fun. We're looking forward to a great 2024, but there's some work to do. See you then.
Let's get it done.
Let's get it done.
Thanks, Coach.
All right now.
Thank you, Coach.
When we come back here on Main Street Sports today to the 11,000-seat Lee Company studio, we will be joined by Joe Sullivan, talking a little local hoops. I see him sitting in the green room. I'm sure Robbie Avila's name will come up at some point here in the next segment, so stay tuned with us here. Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily, as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
We thrive under the lights. A city of performers, putting on one heck of a show. Headlining night after night. Welcome to Smashville.
Make sure you return that. Can you hear me?
Welcome back into Main Street Sports today, presented by TOA Columbia. Once again, here from Middle Tennessee State University inside Murphy Center, the Glass House, where 8 teams from 4 Division I classifications will descend throughout the next 3 days, 4 days, and 3.5 days, I guess. At this point, we're almost halfway through day number 1, but we are excited to be here for this week. We'll be back next week, of course, for the boys' championships. But as you drive into Murfreesboro, drive into the parking lots here at Murphy Center, you can't help but see things missing, new things here.
Yeah.
And it is a crazy situation that MTSU is in right now. Again, obviously upgrading facilities and things of that nature. It puts you into a really weird situation sometimes, but they've done a great job making sure everybody's safe, getting in, getting out, and that's fantastic. And to talk more about that, we have Athletics Director Chris Massaro joining us this afternoon. Chris, I saw you this morning in the tunnel with your hard hat. You guys been out there putting in the work.
Yeah, and that's a misnomer, thinking that I'm out there shoveling. But I did have a meeting to go to, and in the construction trailer, and just, I mean, I'm excited because next Sunday the crane is coming. So next week, the fans that are coming for the boys tournament are going to start seeing steel coming out of the ground. And so that's the next big step for us. So we're excited that the facility that you describe is a $66 million, 85,000 square foot building, a student athlete performance center that's going to help all of our sports, and it's attached to our stadium. and it's going to be great for us. And then once we're done with that, we'll be able to continue to make improvements into the Murphy Center as well.
Chris, you've been here so long, and you've seen obviously some tremendous growth, but it really seems like things are kind of getting taken to a brand new level for Blue Raider athletics. Maybe just speak to that, kind of what you've seen and what's to come for MTSU.
Yeah, we've got about $100 million of facility improvements lined up, and we've financed probably about $93 million of it at this point in time. So we're well on our way. And as I mentioned, we really these are major projects to help our football and basketball programs, and a couple of programs that haven't had a lot of facility attention since I've been here. And it's going to be great because that's the marketplace now. Like in FBS football, you have to be competitive. You have to have these kind of facilities, and it'll be great. So when we move football out of the Murphy Center, that's where their locker rooms are. We'll be able to capture that space for men's basketball. We'll be able to make more improvements in the bowl of our Murphy Center, make it more fan-friendly. You've seen like the first step are our new video boards that are in right now, and those are the largest video boards in Conference USA. So we're very proud of that. Next year when you guys come back, there'll be a brand new sound system in here, and I just hope that you feel it in your chest. You know, one of those, like when you go to a Predators game, you feel it. You feel that thump, and that's what we need to have here. And we're eventually what we'd like to do is take some of these bleachers out, put in suites and club levels. We'd like to instead of have the center court kind of go in an oval, we'd like to bring it all the way to the sideline so it gives us a better home court advantage, be better viewing experience for anybody that comes in here. And also we'd like to change the Murphy Center, kind of retro it back to where it was an entertainment center. It used to be the crown jewel of the mid-state, you know, where every concert and all those kind of things. And I've got no illusions that we're going to compete with the Bridgestone Arena and some of the modern facilities, but we can have some shows, you know, and we can have viable entertainment right here in Murphy Center. So we need to do that as well. So that's kind of all on our design board right now. And so we've got, what we would like to do is flip this whole corner of campus and make it more entertainment oriented, more retail oriented. We're going to put a hotel on campus. Those are out to bid right now. We'd like to just have a retail corridor all around our campus. And then I think we can really kind of take off.
You've talked about a lot of potential upgrades, but you made a great point there when you mentioned that entertainment factor. My boss, I'm an MTSU alum in 2009. My boss, an MTSU alum, and he tries to tell me, I went to a few concerts, but he tries to put it into perspective that this place was a happening spot back in the day in terms of premier artists.
Well, we've got a timeline history on the back of our bleachers. And if you walk around and read those, it is a who's who. It's like a rock and roll Hall of Fame right here at the Murphy Center, because everybody played here, from Garth Brooks to Elvis Presley to I'm trying to think of another good rock and roll guy, but they've all been here. And so it's fantastic. And we had the Judds in here last year, and that was fantastic. And that was my first major concert experience in Murphy Center. And, man, it was great, because what an intimate viewing experience it was. And, again, like Bridgestone's big. I mean, it's massive. It's like 3 levels up.
It's not easy to watch a concert in certain places in there, but in here, there's not a bad seat in the house.
I mean, it is a very intimate experience. And so I think I know there's a market for that, you know, and also – why can't we have the Harlem Globetrotters and other shows like that come in? And I think that'll increase the viability of the building. It'll bring more people here. It'll help both our basketball programs. So that's kind of that's the long-term vision that all these pieces fit together. And as we kind of adjust to the new modern world of college athletics, that's going to be really critical for us, is to have that kind of a space that's hot, that's retail oriented, that's entertainment, that players and people will be attracted to be here.
It reminds me a lot of I don't know. Did you get to go to UAB a couple of years ago? When the Uptown District over there with the Westin Hotel.
Right.
It's a really vibrant area, and it brings people to you because look, football or basketball isn't everybody's cup of tea, but you can bring the whole family, and everybody's got something.
Yeah.
If dad or mom or dad want to watch the ball game, then the other wants to go outside and have a dinner or whatever, you can do that. And it's just it brings everybody to your campus and breeds an affinity for the campus, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and for the school. And oh yeah, I remember going to middle when I was 7, 8, 9 years old, and it just, that's how you grow fan bases.
And I didn't mention it, but we already do a great deal of this, and we're sitting here in a prime example. The next 2 weeks, we're going to host 56 high school basketball games.
Yep.
And we're proud to be here. I mean, this is awesome, and to be the longtime hosts. And then we do 14 high school commencements here. That everybody in Rutherford County graduates through here. So when we start talking about the Murphy Center from a MTSU perspective, but let's look around and see how many potential students that might be coming to MTSU that are making their college choices right now. You look at these student bodies and all those sophomores and juniors, it's important on the impressions that we draw.
Yep.
When they come to their brothers and sisters' high school graduations, it's important that they come here and have a great experience. And that's kind of how they make their choices. It's a very visual. It's a very
this is an on-campus visit.
It is, and we need to upgrade that experience, quite honestly. And so somebody that's goal is to be here. All these teams that are out here playing this week, it's been their goal all season to come to the Murphy Center. Well, let's make it a destination place for all of them,
for everybody,
and then the university can get these residual impacts of the band that's here and of the student bodies that are here and the cheerleaders that are here, that they're looking for a place to maybe go to higher education. And why not Middle Tennessee? It's a great location. We're right in the middle of the state. It's been an easy drive for everybody to get here.
Easy access. And Chris, one other thing that I've been impressed with, especially this week, and you and I were talking about it before we went on air, not just high school basketball this week. You guys had a men's game last night. Shout out to the Blue Raiders, big win over Liberty. And then on Saturday, going to play a ladies contest bright and early. So in many ways, this is kind of the epicenter of basketball in the state of Tennessee this week.
It's really March Madness.
Yeah.
When you talk about March Madness, and that's fun. And our coaches believe in the TSSAA and the high schools, and the championships. And to say to the men's basketball coach, Nick McDevitt, hey, let's move that Liberty game to Tuesday. And then Liberty, we needed their cooperation. They did it right away. And then Saturday was kind of the tricky day because we have a home game scheduled against La Tech. And how do you fit in 4 championship games plus our game? And so Rick Insel, who's very familiar with the TSSAA, said, let's go first. And so let's get our game, so to speak, out of the way. And then we'll seed the stage to all these high school kids for their championship experience. And so we're excited. And Rick's he's buying biscuits for everybody for every season ticket holder.
Okay.
So we're going to have fun at 9:30 in the morning.
Well, and I was going to say, is there this is an opportunity for all of these girls championship teams to get a chance to see Middle Tennessee, and they have no reason not to, because they're already here and their games are after. They don't have they're not itching to go home or anything. They can all come watch a really good basketball team, the Conference USA regular season champion.
Yeah, and we've lost 4 games all year. We're on the verge of being ranked. I think that should we stub our toe once, we still should get an at-large bid in the NCAA tournament. Had a great season, and so if we can role model for some of these kids, but also we want to make sure that they have their championship experience. because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. When you can play in a state championship game, we want to magnify that. We want to amplify that for them, and that's why we're excited. Let's just go first. We don't want to play last where we're kind of trying to hurry them off the court or whatever. Let's get first. We'll get out of the way, and man, the stage is theirs.
Chris, we were talking about a lot of the things that are not completed, but you do have one thing that, since we had talked last, that is completed, has been opened, and is just right outside those glass doors, and that is the tennis complex, which is absolutely phenomenal.
We've got probably the best tennis situation
anybody
in the country, and we can compete with the SEC and other top 25 programs. Our men's program is a top 25 program, and so we need to have back the facilities to have that. And we just opened up 8 new outdoor courts with a spectator platform that'll seat about 400 or 500 spectators, and it's one of the best tennis facilities. And again, it's that visual of this campus of being alive. Like let's rejuvenate.
Well, and
this
not
whole
having
area.
to drive to Adams or something to watch a tennis match.
Yeah, and it's great for our guys if they want to come do a workout. The men or women, they can go hit some balls at 10 in the morning. They got access right here on campus, and then to have matches here is going to be a really great experience. And we've got 8 indoor courts over at the Adams Tennis Center as well. So
which is a top-notch facility in its own right.
Yeah, it's so we're excited about that, and that's just kind of an example of where we want to take our facilities, and that is the first step, and we're really proud to cut that ribbon. We cut it in February. We had to push it back a week, ironically, for snow. That was the week we got that foot of snow, but it was fun, and I can't wait. We have not had a match in there yet. The one time we were supposed to have it rained, so we went indoors. But we're excited to get in there and have some matches. They've been practicing, but no official match
Ready
yet.
to get it going. Absolutely. By the way, Scott Stewart, my boss that I was referencing, he just gave me the quick rundown. Garth Brooks, Pearl Jam, Journey, Georgia Strait. But wait, his key favorite, he said, was Eddie Murphy graced the Murphy Center back in the day. So you're right,
the
Chris.
Eddie Murphy Center that night.
Yeah, it was Eddie Murphy Center. Correct. Well played, Victor. Yeah. So fantastic stuff. We always enjoy being here. The vibes are off the charts here, and this is only day 1 of the tournament, Chris.
Yeah, and we're excited, and the crowds have been great, and so we just we're so excited to host because. And I'm getting a lot of gray in my hair and those kind of things. And it's just so much fun to see kids accomplish their dreams, and that's kind of the bottom line when you're in it long enough. And to see these high school kids have an opportunity to play on a stage like this and in the state tournament in front of all these people, it's a great thing to do. So we're excited to host it. And TSSAA has been great partners for us. So we've got a great relationship and want it to last forever.
Chris Massaro, Athletics Director here at MTSU. And Chris, I don't want to dampen the mood here. We had a guest last Friday.
Yes.
MTSU alum who was not the happiest about your football coach decision in getting rid of Rick Stockstill and bringing in Derek Mason. That being said, since Derek Mason has been here, he's been out in the community. He has been walking in parades. He's been getting out into these high schools. What has this first couple of months been like under the Derek Mason era? How do you feel like he is ingraining himself into the Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee area? Yeah,
and let me just kind of address the first part first. That was a really painful day for all of us. And Rick Stockstill is a friend of mine, and we've worked side by side for 18 years, and you're not going to find a better person or a man. So it was a really difficult situation, but really, I think for us to really move forward, it was something that had to happen, and just we needed just a shot of a different pair of eyes and those kind of things. And Derek Mason's done exactly that. He's been out in the community. He loves the interaction with our fan base. He draws energy off of it. He's great at it. So the first couple months have been an A++. in terms of kind of bringing that kind of energy to our football program. And I'm excited. Next week they'll start spring ball. I've not seen Derek with a whistle around his neck at practice, but how organized he's been and his staff's been, and what they've been able to accomplish in a couple of months, I know they'll have a great spring ball. And I also want to point out to anybody like that might have some reservations as well, that we also recognize that you don't fix a flat tire by changing the bus driver. So there are other elements of the football program that needed to be improved. One of which we're talking about is the facilities.
Yep.
That's kind of that's ongoing and obvious. But there's some other things that we really needed to address. And what I like really about what this staff is they're very cutting edge on nutrition and recovery. And I think that's an area where we could improve a lot upon that we've had a lot of injuries, and sometimes injuries are bad luck. Sometimes they might be a result of maybe changing your strength and conditioning program, your nutrition program, all those kind of things. So we've made some major changes in there, invested quite a bit of money in that. And then we've also invested a lot of money into our personnel department, where we've got guys now that are more active on watching the portal. And we've got guys that are just dedicated to junior college recruiting and those kind of things. So they're evaluating prospects all the time. And in the old staff, they didn't have those kind of resources.
Right.
So we've also tried to back that up. If we're going to make such a change, then let's do a top-down evaluation of our football program and make sure we're doing the kind of things that we need to do to finance our goals. And that's the biggest thing. And we want our fans to also want to help finance our goals. So it's important for our fans to come and buy tickets or to donate to our program or do both. But if we have these lofty goals, if we want to be the best team in the group of five, well, let's finance those goals. Let's fund them and let's make them happen. And that's what we're trying to do right now. And I feel very, very good about the direction of our football program.
We may not have enough time to really get in the weeds on this, but what can you tell us about it is the modern era of college football, but what can you tell us about NIL and where MTSU kind of sits and fits and all that? Maybe?
Yeah, that stuff changes daily.
Right, yeah.
Like you
get the old news tomorrow.
You get the Dartmouth decision, and all that unionization and all this. There's always our best attempts to kill college football have not taken root yet. We've done everything we can, including making Stanford be in the Atlantic Coast Conference to try to kill college sports. But it's too good of a product that bureaucrats like me can't kill it, which thank goodness. My biggest thing is that I understand that you're trying to do what's right for the Big Ten. You're trying to do what's right for the Big 12. You're trying to do what's right for Conference USA or Middle Tennessee. That's great. That's your job. That's what you have to do. But also I think that all of us should be obligated to a higher calling. It is our duty and obligation to be guardians of the game. And I don't think we've done that now. We're just chasing money. We're chasing the greed. We're trying the trophy now is who has the biggest TV contract, not necessarily who holds the silver ball at the end. And I think we've got that wrong. So I think there will be a recalibration here, whether it's through Congress or the courts. We're kind of in the middle of that journey where it's all changing and those kind of things. But I don't worry about our enterprise because it's too good.
Yeah.
And we do too much for students and student athletes. I don't really worry about middle's place in this universe because I think our place is great. I've never envisioned us to be Ohio State, but I think this is a great place that you can come, get your dreams can come true. You can be a Super Bowl champion by going to school here. You can be an NFL All-Pro like Tavarius Ward. You can be the face of a franchise like Kevin Byard was at the Tennessee Titans. You can win championships. You can accomplish all those goals. And most importantly, you can graduate.
Yep.
And you can do all those things right here at Middle Tennessee. And we just have to embrace that. And that's our destiny. And that really hasn't changed. Now, some of the other stuff that's collaterally around it, like the NIL and the transfer portals, well, let's do a good job in those areas. So if somebody is leaving, then that's a really difficult decision.
Right.
And I've always said with staff and coaches, and I'm going to have the same attitude with players, like if I've got an assistant that goes off and becomes an assistant at Clemson, then and that's a pay raise and all those kind of things, I'm going to be okay with that. But I don't want to lose them to a peer institution. I don't want to lose somebody to UAB. I don't want to lose somebody to Memphis. I don't want to lose somebody to Troy. And that's going to be the same way that we're going to treat our players. Like, we're going to treat them so well here, they're not going to want to go to Troy. If Clemson or Georgia come calling, well, then I hope that decision's difficult. And that's all we can ask, you know, and so if we lose a couple, well, let's gain a couple.
Yep.
Because we're doing a good job with them while they're here. And we're going to gain more than we're going to lose out of the portal. And that's the attitude we have to take and embrace that.
Chris Massaro, Athletics Director here at MTSU. Chris, as always, a pleasure. We appreciate you hanging out with us, and we look forward to talking to you again soon as we are here at MTSU. And always plenty of folks walking behind us. We'll talk to you again soon,
Hey, this
Chris.
is fun. Thanks,
you,
guys.
Chris.
Thanks
All
for
right.
being here. You guys add so much to the tournament.
Yes.
We will take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk to Joe Sullivan. It is Nashville Hoops mid-major tournaments.
March
starting
Madness,
soon.
baby.
So we will see you on the other side of the break here on Main Street Sports Day, presented by TOA Columbia.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Welcome to Protein Snack Shop, your destination for healthy and delicious low-carb snacks. Our specialty lies in providing protein-packed desserts that are perfect for those following a keto diet. Our products are made with high-quality ingredients, ensuring that you can satisfy your cravings without compromising your health goals. From a variety of flavors and options to choose from, you can enjoy guilt-free snacking while staying on track with your fitness journey. Don't miss out on our limited time offer. Discover Protein Snack Shop today.
We now welcome in a surprise visitor
That's how this thing goes, partner.
And we told you, you never know who you might come across when you're watching Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. We are now joined by Coosa women's basketball regular season champion coach Rick Insell. Coach, welcome to the show. Thank you for taking some time with us.
I'm getting so old, I'm going to have to take the elevator up there. You know,
I'm surprised you don't. Why would you not?
Well, I'm still trying to prove to myself, I guess, I'm younger than I really am.
I understand. Well, I appreciate you making the trek up here. You know, I know that you always don't just make an appearance at this, but stick around here as much and as long as you are able. Obviously, you made a few appearances on the sidelines for this event, and I know it means a lot to you.
It does. I mean, the girls' state tournament is very special in the state of Tennessee. You know, no matter where it would be at, I'd be there. I'm just very fortunate that I'm a coach at Middle Tennessee, and this is the home kind of girls' state championship. And I hope it stays that way forever. But this is really special.
Yeah, it is. And it's just kind of become the mecca of girls basketball. And it's funny, Rick, because y'all's camps during the summer and that kind of thing, so many of these teams from across the state and across the Southeast come here and play over the summer, and a lot of them obviously have the goal of ending their season on this floor as well.
Well, we kind of sell that and promote that in the summertime. Come and play on Murphy Center floor and hope that you get back here and you sell the dream to your kids. And that's what I did when I was at Shelbyville, and that's what we try to get everybody in the state. We had I think last year we ended up with 300 and maybe 80 teams that was in here in 12 days. So now what you do, now let me take that back. We had 140 schools and 380 teams because a lot of those schools brought 2 teams, some brought 3. And when you got that, that's big. I mean, that's big. And then, you know, it's you get to come. And what I'm hoping I can do one day is convince Dr. McPhee and them to, instead of spending money on billboards and things like that all over the South, bring those kids in here and let them stay in a dorm for 3 days and it not cost them anything. They can eat on campus and they get an idea of what campus life is all about and then still get to play basketball, you know. And that way it wouldn't cost some of those young ladies in those rural areas that really can't afford and the coaches can't afford to take their teams to team camp. It'd be something in Middle Tennessee State that we could do to help them. And, you know, we're talking, and I think one day we can get that done. And they'd play a commuter schedule, and they would pay commuter rates. And when you play commuter rates, basically you're taking care of the officials, and you're taking care of the insurance, and you're taking care of the supervision you have to have now. So, you know, you're not making anything, but you're familiarizing your kids, these young ladies all over the state of Tennessee. We have a lot of teams out of Alabama, Kentucky, about Middle Tennessee State University. And I think you would get more out of that than you would a billboard.
And the thing about that is, Rick, a lot of those young ladies aren't necessarily going to play college basketball, but a lot of them are going to go to college.
That's right. And see, in that situation, Maurice, they could come in and do a 15-minute seminar on Middle Tennessee State University and give them the literature or whatever they needed. I just think that would be a better way for us to sell what we've got because we're trying to get people on campus anyway. Mm-hmm. And if you walk this campus, and you have, I know, but God, if you just look at all the new stuff, our concrete management building, you know, our psychology building, our education department, our, you know, the aerospace program they're now putting in at Shelbyville. I could just go on, our music department. And, you know, a lot of these kids, they would get a chance while they're here to visit those places. And there's tours going on all summer long.
Rick, we had Chris Massaro on this program yesterday, and we kind of
God bless you.
Yeah, exactly. we got through it, right? But we kind of raved about how it was unique this year in the sense we had the men's game on Tuesday night. Obviously, we got the state championship, and then you guys are going to have a fun day on Saturday. Tell us a little bit more about the basketball bonanza that's going to be going on with the Blue Raiders and then the state championship games themselves.
It's the last game of the year for us, and La Tech, it was scheduled to be here, and then we found out, of course, early in the fall that the state tournament's the same time. So La Tech said, well, let's just switch. We'll come to y'all first, and you come to us late. I said, no, we're not doing that. I mean, that means we got to travel the day or the Saturday before we play in the tournament. I said, no, we're going to play here. And the TSSAA and us have always worked together, and they didn't have one problem, and we didn't either. Now, La Tech had a lot of problems. They didn't want to play at 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
It didn't matter to my kids when they just want to play. We'd play at the rec center if they let us. But anyway, they're coming in, and I got a good friend of mine that's going to back his trailer up here, and he's going to cook biscuits and country ham and sausage and bacon and tenderloin, and you can get a cup of coffee, orange juice, or water, and then go to your seats. I'm going to serve you breakfast. You can go to your seats and eat it, and then you get to watch a ball game. And La Tech right now is the hottest team in the conference besides us.
I may come just for breakfast, Wade.
Yeah, you got my attention, Coach.
You ate with us last week. I did.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah. Rick Ensel, the women's basketball coach at Middle Tennessee State, joining us here on Main Street Sports today. We're coming up on a break. On the other side of this break, we've got Jerry Palm, bracketologist from CBS Sports. But tomorrow we will have women's bracketologist Connor Grove from CBS Sports, and we're going to see what he has to say about Rick's Ladies Raiders. Rick, do you have you got anything you want to pass along to Connor for tomorrow?
I think we've probably done everything possible to put ourselves into the tournament. I think we've got an at-large bid right now, unless we spit the bid out. That's a shovable term.
Yep.
And, if we do that, we don't deserve it. We possibly, if we lost a game and won the tournament, we would, and maybe got beat in the finals, possibly would be, but you don't want to take that chance.
Yeah.
I think we go into the tournament undefeated. Well, with 4 losses, where we're at now, we're 25-4, I think. And we go in the tournament and win 2 or 3 games. We win 3 games, that would put us in. But if we won 2 games or 1 game got upset, I think we still got a shot. We've done what we needed to do. We played a tough schedule. You don't get in the 30s in the net ranking with a school like us. And I hate to say this, and I said this last night to the people that was on ESPN calling the game for Liberty. Everybody, if you'll talk to nearly every women's coach out there, they'll tell you, we want to grow the game. We want to grow the game.
Mm-hmm.
We want to do what we got to do. Now, our game is growing by leaps and bounds right now.
Right.
The WNBA is packing it. Colleges are packing it. But you take – and I'm not pointing a finger at Vanderbilt, but let's talk about this, man. We got a 39 net ranking. Vanderbilt's got a 60, and we're 22 minutes or 22 miles away from each other, and we don't play. That's not growing the game, guys. Yet they'll go play UT Martin. They'll go play Western Kentucky.
Yeah.
They'll go play somebody that you drive 700 miles or fly 700 miles, but they don't want – and then we're sitting right here begging for games.
Yeah.
If I was at Vanderbilt, and I'm not, I'd be playing Middle Tennessee if they got a net ranking in the 30s every time that I got a chance. I'd also be playing Connecticut's and those people because you're a Power 5 school. You got money, So, and I'm not pointing a finger at them. I'm just saying that. It took us forever to get Tennessee on the schedule. Well, what happened? We won. Well, now, and I love Kelly. She played for me, and her husband, I love him too. But now they're saying next year, well, we don't know if we can find somewhere on the schedule. And we got to go there.
Funny how that happened.
Yeah.
Now, I know you got to go, but I got bought out of an Alabama contract. They paid us $25,000 not to come to Tuscaloosa. I got bought out of an Ole Miss contract. They paid us $25,000 not to come to Oxford. And there's one more out there that we've been bought out of. And we've raised that up now to $50,000. If you're going to cancel, and we got to go to those places. And they're saying, we don't want you here. And what it is, it ain't necessarily they don't want us there. They're afraid that they're going to lose a game in their non-conference schedule. But yet they can go into the SEC, and then they start saying, well, we know, like last night, Arizona was saying, we ought to be in. They've lost 15, 16 games this year.
Mm-hmm.
they were in the same tournament we was in the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just feel like that we as a group need to promote our game. And when we say promote it and grow the game, we need to try to do that. And I'm about to get out of this game. So I hope the ones coming along behind me. Pat Summit, let's go to her. Played everybody.
Anytime, any
Played
place.
everybody.
Yep.
I mean, played Stanford, played Texas, played Connecticut. That was her non-conference schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't win them all. But she won, 8 or 9 national championships. So she was showing people, this is how you do it. And why the new ones coming up don't look at Pat the way she did it. That's the way you grow the game, the way she did it.
Rick Insel.
Can't argue with that.
No, you can never argue with Rick, and even if you try, you're going to lose. But anyway, Rick Insel, the women's basketball coach at Middle Tennessee State, joining us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia.
Are you curious about all of the news, happenings, and sports in and around Southern Middle Tennessee? If so, join Scott Stewart, Wade Neely, and Maurice Patton each week on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. on Main Street Media TV for Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee.
Welcome back to the Thursday edition of Main Street Sports Today, presented by the Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. Maurice Patton, Wade Neely joining you from the Murphy Center, the Glass House here on the campus of Middle Tennessee State University, watching a little girls high school basketball tournament action here as Westview has forged a 38-35 lead against Loretto here inside the final 20 seconds of the third quarter. And just like that, it's tied.
Back and forth. This is going to be a nail biter of a fourth quarter coming up.
Yep, this one's going to be a good one going down the stretch. We're going to talk a different indoor sport here in this segment as we are joined by Nashville Cats receivers coach C.J. Johnson, the new Nashville Cats arena ball team will be starting up action next month, and Coach Johnson joining us now. Coach, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm glad you all having me.
Hey, no, thank you for joining us, man. Now, is that a Tennessee Valley Vipers jersey in the background?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yep.
We like backgrounds, man, and we get a kick out of that stuff. So, take me through your arena ball background and what landed you in this position that you are stepping into, I guess, here in the last month or so.
Mo, if you don't mind me calling you that.
Not at all.
First and foremost, man, I have to first give God the thanks for even putting me in this position. Being a local kid, graduating from Glencliff High School, going on to play at Tennessee State, then going on to play arena ball. It was It really was. It was a blessing because I had been praying towards the end of 23 for a more of a role within the football realm, and then just out of the blue, man, God was like, "You asked for it, here it goes." So Coach Dean Coquinos, he hit me up. He was like, "Hey, I'm interviewing for the Cats job." He said, "If I get it, would you like to join me?" And I couldn't believe it because, like I said, it just came out of the blue. But that's how blessings work. And I'm just glad to be in this position.
How are things looking right now? I know you guys are going through workouts. You're kind of signing folks, different stuff like that, and I guess it's got to be pretty exciting getting ready to get this team back on the field. And what's it looking like you're going to be working with?
As of right now, it looks like we got a good group of guys. I haven't met all of them yet. Camp doesn't get started until April. So, we'll really have an idea of what we have. But from the guys that I have met, I'm really excited. We had a tryout on the 24th of February, which it was a great experience. It was my first time really dealing with an atmosphere like that. But I was real pleased at how it turned out. And, I'm just excited for the season to get started. And I hope, the city supports it like they did back in 06, 07 in those years.
Yeah, and CJ, since you mentioned Nashville, what's it like obviously being so familiar with Nashville, playing there for so long at the high school and then the college level, and obviously even a stint in the Arena League itself. What's it mean to not just be back in the sport, but be back in the sport in the Music City?
Man, it's amazing. I really can't downplay that. With the current growth of the city, it's amazing to see that, and then to see, how many pro teams are here and thriving. And now I hope that the Nashville Cats, finds their little niche to where we can get back and find its place within the community and get that support. Like I said, like we did in the past.
As we got a big 3-pointer here inside the Murphy Center, and CJ, what's one or two things for folks that are maybe going to be new to arena ball? We're obviously excited about the Cats, and we've been fans over the years, but what are one or two things that you would maybe tell, whether it's a fan or just somebody even interested in the sport, to expect out of the Arena League and particularly out of the Nashville Cats in this new iteration?
Well, what's wild is coming out of college, I had never even watched or been to an arena football game. But when you go to an arena game, it's a whole different experience. It's fast. It can be very loud at times. I mean, guys flipping over walls, and it's an experience that I feel like, especially young kids, I feel like that's something that they should really get to experience and be able to embrace that, and just the interaction with the players, during the game. I mean, you can shake a kid's hand right before you go out to run a route. You know what I'm saying? So it's an amazing atmosphere, a lot of scoring. Just something that I think everyone should experience at least once.
Absolutely. And I've always kind of heard it's a kind of a rock party or a rock concert with a football game kind of mixed in on the side.
Indeed.
I'm curious on your end, though, what changes or adjustments do you have to make as a coach going from traditional football to arena football? What does that difference look like?
Well, you just have to understand that things are going to happen a little quicker because the width of the field is only 28 yards. The regular size field or NFL field is like 52, 53. So, you don't have as much space and it's not as long either. So you just have to understand spacing, and you have to understand that things are going to happen a little quicker. So, those are some of the major key points that you like to get across to the guys, especially first-time players.
Yeah.
And obviously that the biggest adjustment probably there is for receivers. Is that fair to say?
Well, actually, it's three receivers. The tight end is technically a lineman, and the fullback is technically a glorified lineman as well, because I mean he has to step up and block too. So it's really only 3 receivers, but you get to do the motion, to gain that momentum. Honestly, the hardest part to me was returning, because when they kick the ball off the net, you have to turn your back to everybody coming downfield and just pray that you catch the ball clean, So, that's the biggest adjustment to me.
Excited, I can tell. And understandably so. The way this franchise was received the first time around, trying to replicate that, I guess, is the challenge this time around. But I think the Cats have enough of a cachet in the community, and enough people remember them from the first time around that you guys have got something to kind of build off of.
Yeah, and when I put the post on Facebook that I was gonna be the receivers coach, man, the support that I received was overwhelming. It just made me feel blessed to even be in this position. And it goes to show that especially when a homegrown kid is on the staff, that people are going to come out and support. Having guys like Jeff Fisher as the team president, Eli Gold as the the voice for the Cats. I mean, I'm an Alabama fan, so to hear that, I was like, man, that's wild. Maybe I'll get to meet him or something, but yeah, man, the buzz is there. So I just hope that the product that we put on the field reflects that, and everything goes well.
One quick thing on that too. Where can this potentially take you as a Metro guy and been around Metro for so long? What can this potentially do for Metro Nashville schools and just kind of showing kids that this is a different avenue and a different path to really kind of maybe even chart a new professional career?
Well, that I'm glad you asked that, because the past few years I've been coaching at McGavick High School with a couple of my good friends, and just having an opportunity to maybe take some of the players back to the schools and just get them involved with that, letting guys see that just because you may not make it to the NFL or anything like that, there are still avenues for you to fulfill your dreams. So even on the coaching aspect, it's I can't say it enough, man. It's a beautiful thing, and again, I'm just blessed to be in this opportunity. And the sky's the limit for myself, for Metro Nashville as a whole, and I hope that it does nothing but continue to grow and get better.
CJ Johnson, receivers coach of the Nashville Cats, joining us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. The Cats open their season April 27th at Municipal Auditorium against the Minnesota Myth. They will also play at home on May 12th against the Philadelphia Soul, and the following weekend they'll play in Clarksville at F&M Arena against the Georgia Force, and that's an old school rivalry right there, right?
Oh yeah, and I actually played for the Force for a couple years, so that'll be a good thing to see them across the sidelines. But yeah, and taking it up to Clarksville, I mean, that would be showing growth as well, and like I said, we're just excited, man. Coach Dean, he's excited for the opportunity, and I'm just glad that he thought of me to bring me on the staff.
You mentioned that you played for the Force, CJ, and it reminded me of a viral video that you were a part of playing for the Force. I think you guys were playing against was it Jacksonville?
It was
Orlando. Was it was Orlando?
Yeah,
When you caught a kickoff right up against the net and a fan reached out and grabbed you.
Yeah, it was wild, but in that moment, I really didn't know what was going. I felt somebody grabbing me, but my eyes are locked on the football, because I can't just take my eyes off of that. So I was focused on that. But then when I saw the replay, I was like, man, that was a little worse than what I thought it was. But things like that happen, and it goes back to the point of, the fans are so close to you that, that interaction, it can be great, but at that particular time, it wasn't so great.
CJ Johnson, former Glencliff and Tennessee State standout, new Nashville Cats receivers coach, joining us here on Main Street Sports today. CJ, appreciate your time, man. Congratulations. Welcome back. And be sure and tell Freddie B I said hey when you talk to him again.
I got you, man. And again, I appreciate y'all for having me on. Like I said, I hope to see you guys at a couple games. And I just hope that it continues to grow from here.
We look forward to it, man. Thank you.
Thank you, CJ.
Right, thank you.
Wade, he mentioned Eli Gold, the newly named Nashville Cats broadcaster. Apparently, that's not all Eli Gold is doing these days.
It sounds like he, a couple weeks ago, it sounded like he was quote unquote retiring. And then within 48 hours, or maybe 24 hours, that was put to rest. He's with the Nashville Cats. But yeah, some more news for Mr.
news.
Eli Gold.
Yes, and it's pretty intriguing. Friend of the show, Greg Seitz, athletics director at Jacksonville State, apparently saw Eli Gold had some extra time on his hands.
Yep.
And Eli Gold will now be handling Jacksonville State's baseball telecasts.
So he is
diversifying
his portfolio, his broadcasting chops, and that is not a slouch job either, obviously, for a program that's had some solid success. And so Eli now going to call the Cats and call the Gamecocks games, which will be fantastic to see him kind of continue a legendary career. If he didn't want to go out on his own terms, which it sounded like he didn't after we read the rest of the story,
sure,
it's good to see him do as much as he wants to, because that guy's a legend.
Yep. Apparently, Mike Paris will remain in his position as longtime broadcaster for Jack State, but Eli will be joining him in the radio booth. Well, no, I'm sorry. Mike Paris will handle radio. Eli will be on television.
Okay.
So, and the plan is to take on additional sports and duties for Jacksonville State, including football.
Talk about a get for Jacksonville State then,
yes,
in my opinion.
He will make his broadcast debut on March 19th when Samford travels to Jacksonville, taking on the Gamecocks. So this is, he's got a lot going on all of a sudden. It's going to be an interesting spring for Eli.
Yeah, from retired, quote unquote, to a full plate.
Yeah. And good for him. Had been with Alabama for 35 years. And I guess someone made a decision to go in another direction.
Yep.
As they like to say.
And so good news for Jack State. Like I said, that's big, and especially the fact you're going to throw in some football. I mean, you're probably going to get at least a little bit of crossover from just folks that enjoy listening to him call games.
Sure.
I would imagine.
You would think. Yeah. So, all right. Eli, gainfully employed in at least a couple of spots. So good for
we
him.
will have to go to a Cats game and get the full story from Eli at some point.
We may just have to do that. Yeah. Pull up. Let's take a break. When we come back, we will have a little time before we are joined by MTSU men's basketball coach Nick McDevitt, but we've got some house cleaning that we need to take care of in that interim anyway, so we will do that. We will give our weekly Player of the Week and Team of the Week when we come back here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia. Stay with us.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
Welcome back to Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Maurice Patton here on this Thursday edition, a throwback Thursday, where we'll bring you one of our favorite interviews over the last week or so. And we'll take you from preps to pros, I promise. But we're going to start in preps right now and go to Coach's Corner, where Santa Fe Wildcats boys coach Brad Slaughter joins us, most likely from, a secure location.
Highly secure.
Very secure here, guys.
Well, we certainly hope so. Yeah. Brad, appreciate you taking some time with us, man. Hey, 2 numbers that we need to throw at Brad.
All right. Wind up, pitch.
10.
And?
Which is the number of games that Santa Fe has won in 10 tries. And
So 0 is not the second number?
No, 0 is not the second number.
Okay.
The second number is 1,964.
Okay.
That's the number of points that Santa Fe junior Alden Slaughter currently has, making him, one, the school's all-time leading scorer as a junior. It's a total that he adds to every time he goes out on the floor. And it puts him, now I know you're from Alabama, but I'm sure you can do this math. It puts him 36 points short of
I did already do the math.
2,000 for his career, which would make him the second guy locally to hit that milestone, but the only underclassman. Brad, what's it like seeing your son have that kind of success on a nightly basis?
I mean, it's pretty awesome. You got to say, it's coaching him from the time he was little. It's really how I got into coaching. It was by accident. I only intended to coach like a little kids league at Zion. It was an upward was the league, and somehow I've just kind of came with him the rest of the way, I guess. But he's loved the game since he was little. He's put in the work, and so. To see somebody that works that hard get to, go perform well, we're happy for him.
You're a Santa Fe graduate. The Slaughter surname is pretty much synonymous with Santa Fe. Older son, Andy, graduated as the school's all-time leading scorer with 1,591 points. I don't know when Alden went by that, but clearly he blew by it. Again, he's a junior coming up on 2,000 points with an entire senior season to go after this year. I mean,
he's going to get a season and a half to go.
Yeah, he's going to put that number someplace where it's going to be pretty safe by the time he gets done. But I mean, for you, again, you discussed as a parent, but as a Santa Fe graduate, a Santa Fe product, to see somebody come through and do what he's done has got to be pretty amazing.
Yeah, it really is, and I'll say we're going to have to protect him from watching this for the next couple of days.
Does he not know?
So no, it's all good. But
Okay.
I had a teammate when I was in high school in Santa Fe, real good basketball player that was approaching 1,000 points. And let's just say, in case he's watching, that he fell off a little bit, knowing he was approaching it. So I've always taken the stance of not telling him, which we're safe. That I don't think he'll be watching. But no, it's really cool to see it. I mean, I think his goal from going into high school was to be able to become the all-time leading scorer, and he actually got that in the district championship game last year. So that one meant a lot, and then is, picked up from there. So, but I will say for me and him both, he's, as the all-time leading scorer, we're really focused more on it. He's got tournament ambitions, that's what he talks about more than anything is, being able to get us a trip to Murfreesboro. That's something that Santa Fe's never done. And, is that's the one on his bucket list that he's got highlighted is to take the trip to Murfreesboro.
And I would imagine that one burns kind of bright from the standpoint that you guys fell in a home sectional his freshman year, one of the best high school games I've seen, by the way.
Yeah.
But fell in the home sectional his freshman year, lost in the region quarterfinals last year. Is that right?
Region quarterfinals last year. Yeah. And
so really kind of feels like a little unfinished business for you guys coming into this year, I guess.
Yeah, it does. And it's just such a competitive district and region. And I think what the second number you threw out, the 10-0, what's the reason we're there is just respecting our opponent every single night. I think what this group has done a really good job of so far is understanding that, we believe that we can beat anybody any night, but we also believe that anybody can beat us any night. And we've stayed humble and, made sure we come out and work hard every night. But we've been fortunate. I mean, we've had 4 razor close games, 2 overtime wins, and it's, we know that every night we're going to have to show up. So just got to be performing come tournament time, and a lot of season left. And, our goal is to try to widen the gap, which that's what everybody's trying to do. So we're focused on getting in the gym, practice, and getting better.
Mo, when I talked to Andy in his senior year, I guess it may have been when he became the school's all-time leading scorer. I said he said, "I'm just going to enjoy it while I've got it because Alden's coming, and I can't wait to watch him be the best player this school's ever had." And that was very prophetic of him to say about his freshman brother at the time. And it really just goes to show the level of that you guys have kind of reached over the last few years. Obviously, Andy helped get you guys over that hump, and it feels like that Santa Fe goes into these seasons now with an expectation of postseason play and getting past district play and into the regionals. How does that affect your team every time out? Because it hasn't always been that way.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. Number one, that's really what me and Andy and Alden all wanted to do. I actually got a Facebook notification before jumping on a few minutes ago of one of the 5 year ago reminders when we got our first win. Just 5 years ago, we were just getting our first win that the program had in 2 years. So we've worked really hard to turn it around. Like you said, I believe that was built on Andy's group, a lot of Andy and Colton and that group being good leaders and pushing Alden every day. I think they did a great job of developing him. That they recognized what he could do, and they still come to the games and hold him accountable. They expect a lot of it. They're graduated, and it has become an expectation in the town, and we take a lot of pride in that. And I think that it's something that's regularly talked about. When we have a gym full of people, which we're fortunate to have, each night. It's not one of the gyms you go to that's empty. It's awesome student section, and people that don't have kids on the team that are loyal and come out every night. That we know we got to do our best for the community as well. So we're playing for more than just us, for sure.
Brad Slaughter, boys basketball coach, Santa Fe Unit School, joining us here on Coach's Corner on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. The Wildcats 10-0. They head over toward the river Tuesday to take on a McEwen team that they've already beaten once at home, 66-47, about a week and a half ago as part of this 10-0 start to the season. And obviously, Brad, you can't talk about this team without talking about Alden. He was averaging 33.5 points a game coming into this week. I think he had 41 Tuesday night against Perry County. I'm sure he had a big night on Monday against Frank Hughes. I don't have it in front of me, but at the same time, you don't have the success that you guys are having off of just one guy.
No, that's the complete difference, from the last couple years in his freshman year, is that we got other guys doing it. Number one, it's as you hear me say all the time, it's the coach's thing, I think, but it's based on our defense. Which truly takes five. If we ever get one guy that's not defending at a really high level, you can tell it, and the whole unit breaks. So I think. Number one, all of the guys, even the ones that aren't in the scoring column, Austin Hazlett, Caleb Hazlett, those guys don't score a lot, but those are two of the better defensive players you'll see, especially for their size. They work hard for us every night. And, we've been shooting it well. Making accidents, shooting at 40% from the 3-point line, averaging, I believe, just over 16 points a game. Alden shooting it close to 40% from the 3-point line. Jack Slaughter coming off the bench for us is shooting it at 40% from the 3-point line. And, multiple guys getting in the scoring column. I think we had, I think we had 13 games last year that we had less than 6 points from people outside of Alden and Macon. And we have not had that happen yet. So we're getting the contribution from all the guys. And, we talk about everybody being a threat. So, the way teams like to play Alden, it's going to open things up. And if we can, continue to take advantage of that, things will open up late for him, which is, really what happened against Frank Hughes. Alden had 13 points going into the fourth quarter, and was just hitting open guys who were making them pay, and they adjust, and he scores 21 points in the fourth quarter. So that's how we ideally want to be able to do it. If teams over focus on Alden, we want him to make good decisions and get the other guys involved. And so far so good.
You talk about this defense, Brad. You guys have given up 55 points twice this year, given up 50 points twice this year, and your other 6 games, you've held opponents to 48 or less. And again, with the way you guys play offensively, you got to like your chances when you're doing that on the other end.
Right. Like, as you said, we get up and down the floor and have a lot of possessions in the games that we play. So, we really just try to focus on our opponent's field goal percentage. We want to keep our opponents in the low 30s or lower, and not allow second chance shots. So rebounding's been a big focus too. The defense doesn't do you any good if you don't finish it and rebound. So we're still got some improvement to do there, but we've won more games on the rebound battle than we've lost, which, again, I think last year we out rebounded our opponent twice last year. So that's something we're really focusing on that can help us come tournament time if we continue to get better rebounding.
Well, you mentioned it, how, you talk about how guys play for their size, and you don't have a lot of size. So when you have to have 5 guys going to the backboard every single possession, and, to be able to get kids to buy in and be tough and physical that way is really impressive. I mean, you guys do a great job of rebounding basketball.
Yeah, we do. And I'll say, I think there's little credit I can take for it. Sometimes toughness is just in some boys. And, we got some boys I believe were born tough that just like to get after it and like to bang. So they make it easy on me.
Well, you guys have had a fantastic start to the season. Obviously, the real season is still ahead of you, but it has been a really impressive start to the year. So how do you feel going into district play? How do you feel like this team stacks up now that you've seen some other teams in the district, as well as your guys actually get on the floor?
Well, I think it's, probably part of our success, but I'm nervous every night we line up, Chris. I don't know who made this schedule, but I really do feel like every team we've played so far could have beat us, and I don't see that changing much. As we go into district and region. Richland's obviously tough. Eagleville in the region, we played them twice. Very fortunate to come out with a win in both of those. So. It's a really tough district and region, and we just gotta, again, try to widen that gap and do the little things right and rely on our defense. So, I think we start with Culleoka at home. We are lucky to have a little bit of a home start to district play, so I feel good about that. But got to bring it every night for sure.
3 straight home games to open District 10A play. Once you do come back from the holidays, you got Culleoka, Cornersville, and Richland all coming to your place. And if you're going to that Richland game, you might want to get there early because the Wayne Walters Gymnasium is not large, and I think there will be plenty of people wanting to see that ball game. So we're looking forward to it. Save me a seat. Brad Slaughter, the boys basketball coach at Santa Fe.
If you want a seat saved, you need to talk to the boss, not to Brad.
Trust me, I've got Ashley's phone number as well.
She runs the show there. Yeah, reach out to
her. I think I'll be in good shape. But Brad, we appreciate it, man. Thank you for joining us here on Coach's Corner.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me. See ya.
All right. The countdown has begun.
Yeah, I'm telling
you. 2000. Actually, it's been on for a minute, I think.
Whether you're an athlete or a weekend warrior, when it comes to your performance, don't settle for anything less than excellence. We're proud to announce that Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic is now Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance of Columbia, where we are redefining sports medicine and orthopedics. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance's team of expert sports medicine physicians understands the unique demands of your body. TOA Columbia specializes in personalized orthopedic care, offering state-of-the-art treatments for everything from sports injuries to joint replacements. Learn more at toacolumbia.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
We thrive under the lights. A city of performers, putting on one heck of a show. Headlining night after night. Welcome to Smashville.